the News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good morning. We're at 61 degrees at 7:40 on this Monday, September 16th. I'm Scott Stanford. Here's what's happening. Learning more this morning about 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh. He's the man police grabbed on I-95 after Secret Service catch him pointing a rifle at Donald Trump while the former president was playing golf in West Palm Beach yesterday. Chaos on the subway in Brooklyn as police shoot a man with a knife. Bystanders are hit by bullets. Officials in Suffolk County set to release more info today about one of the victims who were found over a decade ago in what could be another Gilgo Beach murder. Executives from TikTok's parent company on Capitol Hill today for a hearing as they look to stop the government from banning the social media platform in the U.S. in January of next year. She got into her family's SUV, drove 10 miles to a Target with $400 in her pocket and started shopping. She is an 8-year-old girl. Checking sports, Jets beat the Titans, Giants lost to the Commanders, the Yankees beat the Red Sox, Mets lost to the Phillies. AccuWeather, did you like yesterday? Same today, mostly sunny, high 78. But when does Mother Nature start to take a turn? Going to be this week. Winds News Time, 7:41. Traffic and transit back out to Karen Stewart.
What we see on Long Island's Big Three. The westbound LIE can't seem to shake off this broken down cars near exit 53 for the side coast, so watch out for that. You can try Northern Boulevard or the Northern State instead. Meanwhile, the Northern State has its own little problem. Westbound, west of exit 29A for the crossover for the LIE. We've got a disabled vehicle, but it's only on the right shoulder. And the Southern State still has a little bit of traffic getting out to the Cross Island Parkway. And the LIRR's Ronkonkoma branch have buses replacing trains right now until 6:30 this evening between Ronkonkoma and Greenport. This goes on Mondays through Thursdays. It's a semi-long-term project. It continues through mid-November. Subways are doing well. The Path and NJT are running on a close to schedule. Now in Bedford, New York, northbound A684 near exit 4, we got a broken down vehicle in the fast lane. Oh my goodness. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The inbound George hit 90. An hour and a half in at the George Upper with a broken down tractor trailer in the left and centers. Plus, on the eastbound cross Bronx and Jerome, there's an accident in the center lane there. From the Palisades, Route 446, it's 40 to 45. The inbound George lower is an hour. The Lincoln is 40. And the Holland Tunnel is just about an hour right now as well. Our next report's in less than 10. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Well, what do we know about the guy who allegedly was looking to assassinate Donald Trump while the former president was playing golf yesterday? He's been identified as 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh. Trump at his course in West Palm yesterday, a Secret Service agent was clearing the next hole ahead of Trump's arrival, and that agent is credited with stopping Routh. Officials say the agent saw the muzzle of Routh's rifle at the fence line, so the agent fired off a couple of shots. Routh took off and was later stopped by deputies on I-95 in Martin County.
Former President Trump said he heard gunfire. That was the signal from the campaign. But the Secret Service is trying to sort out what predicated this. They did find some shell casings from this assault-style rifle that indicates the gun was discharged, but when and to what end, that all hasn't been figured out. Former president was not hurt, and he later told aides that he was in, fine spirits.
That's correspondent Aaron Katersky. Reaction to what went down with yet another assassination attempt on Mr. Trump's life from President Biden and Vice President Harris.
We know the president and the vice president had both been briefed on the situation. The White House put out a statement saying that they were both relieved to hear that the former president was safe, and they will both continue to get regular updates throughout the day. The vice president also put out a similar statement of her own, but also adding violence has no place in America.
That's correspondent Mary Alice Parks. Routh reportedly registered to vote in North Carolina, but has also lived and worked in Hawaii since 2018. His neighbor, Christopher Tam, lives 2 houses down.
Never heard anything directly from him that expressed any kind of hatred or that would even make me worry about his ability to do something like he's being alleged to do.
Published reports this morning say Routh's son, Oren, said his father had traveled to Ukraine and volunteered for humanitarian aid to the troops there. He describes his father as someone who was very passionate to the Ukraine cause. Wins News Time, 7:45. A double shooting under investigation in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn. The victims, a 33-year-old man and a 37-year-old woman. They've both been hospitalized in stable condition after taking bullets to the legs last night on a basketball court at the Sheepshead Bay houses on Nostrand Avenue. There's no word yet on a motive for this shooting, and so far no arrests have been made. On the campaign trail, Democratic Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, a guest on ABC's This Week, says she believes the vice president has the staying power to come out on top in what is expected to be a very tight election.
We know that this is going to be a close race, and Kamala Harris says that she's an underdog. But what's important is that she and Tim Walz have built a campaign for a close race.
Well, they're eating the dogs and the cats in Springfield, Ohio. Those comments from Donald Trump still creating a lot of buzz all over social media. Songs and memes filling up timelines left and right. Yesterday, Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, amplifying those claims about the Haitian immigrants there, even though there have been major threats to that community in recent days.
Senator Vance told CBS's Face the Nation he stands by those accounts.
Well, I've heard about a dozen things from my constituents in Springfield, Ohio. 10 of them are verifiable and confirmable. A couple of them we have direct firsthand accounts.
This is dangerous stuff.
Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro told CNN he's worried by bomb threats now being called into schools and hospitals in Springfield.
This has now taken on a life of its own because of what they incited.
That's Michael Toscano reporting, and NBC saying that former President Trump is expected to visit Springfield, Ohio in the near future. Bullets flying at a Brooklyn subway station yesterday. When police shot at a guy who came at them with a knife, bystanders were hit in the spray of those bullets. Glenn Shucks in the Brownsville section of Brooklyn.
As these officers pursued the fare evader, the man allegedly yelled, "I'm going to kill you if you don't stop following me." After pulling a knife, cops say they tried to tase this man not once but twice on the subway car itself, but he pulled a knife, so the cops fired. Chief of Department Jeffrey Madry says other officers then raced in.
Additional officers arrived to the scene. They're able to give aid to the police officer who was hit. They're able to give aid to the male who was hit. And then they're able to give aid to 2 more civilians, another male and another female, who were both struck by gunfire.
Now, that wounded cop should be released from Brookdale at some point today. The suspect, 20 prior arrests at least, we're told, critically wounded. Now, as for those innocent bystanders, the 49-year-old man in an adjacent subway car remains critical today. Glenn Shuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM, Sutter Avenue in Brownsville.
Well, officials on Long Island are expected to release new information today about one of the victims whose remains were found off Ocean Parkway back in 2011. Suffolk County DA Ray Tierney telling Newsday they have more info on an Asian male who they think was part of the string of killings in the Gilgo Beach murders. Investigators said the victim was in his late teens or early 20s, dressed in women's clothing, and they think he may have been a sex worker. No one's been charged in that man's death. 61-year-old Rex Heuerman has been charged in the murders of 6 women in connection to the Gilgo Beach investigation. Big day for TikTok on Capitol Hill. A 3-judge federal appeals court set to hear challenges from the social media giant, along with a group of content creators. They're going to challenge the new law, which gives TikTok's parent company ByteDance until January 19th to sell the platform or face a ban in the U.S. Lawmakers have raised hypothetical security concerns over user privacy, but rights groups like the ACLU point out that there's no evidence that ByteDance has given any user data to the Chinese government.
For years now, the U.S. government has said that TikTok is a threat to national security. But despite comments from 2 presidents, Congress, and a lot of government officials, we still don't actually know what that threat is.
That's CBS News tech contributor Ian Scher. TikTok home to nearly 170 million American users, including Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who have been looking to reach younger voters on the platform. Well, we got a heartbroken 11-year-old who just can't believe somebody would take his lemonade stand. The theft happened when Liam Rader stepped away from a stand for just a few minutes to get cups in his hometown in San Diego. That's when a driver came by, picked up the table, put it in the back of his truck. The driver threw away Liam's sign. He drove off. Liam returned, saw his lemonade stand, disappeared into the day, and Liam says he was saving up for a dirt bike. His mom says that she hopes the guy mistook the stand as just free stuff that someone put out on the drive, on your curb. Worst part about the theft, it happened a week after Liam's 11th birthday. Come on, man, bring that thing back.
All right, guys, thank you so much for staying with me as I commute to work, listening to the news. We'll see you on the next episode.